Good afternoon. Thank you for being here today for a workshop on effective reporting. My name is Tatiana Rodenas and I'm a social value coordinator working for Acciona in the HPP. I will be guiding you through this season, and reporting, just to start with, is a critical skill in any professional setting. Is how we communicate progress, share insights, and inform decision making. And today we will be exploring how to make your reports clear, engaging, and impactful. So let's see. So here is a quick look at today's agenda. So we will begin by exploring some common challenges in reporting, identifying obstacles and areas where many of us struggle. Then we will dive into the principles of effective reporting, highlighting key strategies and points that you have to follow that will help you to produce clear, concise, and impactful reports. And finally, we'll focus on how to tell a clear history through a report, ensuring that your content not only informs, but also, and very important, engages and persuades your audience. So here are different types of reports that you may encounter is serving a different specific purpose and for a specific audience. So just to mention a few, so you maybe work with, you have to do progress reports, and this provides updates on the status of ongoing projects, outlining completed tasks, upcoming milestones, challenges, and timelines. The main objective of this progress report is to keep stakeholders informed on the project's progress. Then another one can be the one that you encounter is the strategic reports. This focus on the long-term direction of an organization or project. They assess goals, alignment with the broader strategy, and make recommendations to drive future success. The objective of these reports is to provide insights that guide decision making and strategy formulation. Now on the slide, you can see the different reports that you can encounter during your professional life. So now we can talk about some common challenges in reporting, whether you are creating progress updates or strategic reports. These obstacles can often make reporting more difficult than it seems. And a key challenges in reporting are, for example, like clarity and simplicity, making progress information, complex information, sorry, easy to understand without losing the key details, data overload, avoiding to put much information that distracts for the main message that you want to communicate. Meeting the lines, that's very important when you have to submit your reports, managing time effectively to ensure reports are completing on schedule without compromising quality. It's like you are not doing that on the very last minute and then you are just not putting on the information that you really need. Audience understanding, tailoring the content to suit the knowledge level and expectations of your audience. And then another challenge can be ensuring accuracy, double checking data and sources to avoid errors and maintain credibility. Those are some kind of challenges that you can find when writing your report. Now let's explore the key principle of effective reporting, which are essential. We will be going through we'll be talking about purpose, audience, research, structure, clarity, and consciousness. Okay, let's go. So purpose of your report is that every report should have a clear one. Before you start writing, you really need to define why you are creating the report and what you want to achieve. Are you updating it for stakeholders, to update the stakeholders on progress, providing an analysis of the situation, making recommendations for future actions? The purpose should guide every decision you make during this writing process, from the content to the tone. A strong purpose helps you to stay focused and ensures that the report remains relevant for the readers, for the audience. For example, a project progress report may aim to inform, while an evaluation report may seek to assess the effectiveness of a program or initiative. And so, just to sum up, you really need to be clear about the why behind your report, and this will shape its structure as the content. Now, looking at the audience, understanding your audience is crucial for effective communication. Ask yourself who will be reading this report, what do they already know about the subject, and what do they need to learn from this report. Tailoring your content to your audience ensures that the report is both relevant and engaging. For example, if your audience consists of senior executive, they may prefer like they are very busy people, so high level insights with clear recommendation. But on the other hand, a technical team might need the daily data and throughout analysis. So when you really know your audience, you can adjust your tone, level of details, and complexity of the report. The key is to write in a way that matches their expectations or delivers real value. Now we are looking at the research. So effective reports are built on solid research. The credibility of your finding relies on gathering accurate and reliable data, whether you are doing just like a summarizing the results of a survey that you have asked for, presenting financial data, or just really evaluating the impact of a project. Your research should be really through like has to be really objective and up to date, and you really need to be able to use reliable sources. Okay, research is not only about collecting the data, it's about being able to interpret that data correctly as well. So you have to make sure to cross check sources, verify the facts, and use appropriate methodologies to gather that information. If the data that you are reporting has flaws or is outdated, it really kind of undermines the integrity of the entire report. So, well conducted research, whatever you do, like to be able to write your report, adds authority to your report and ensures that your conclusions are sound and okay. The structure is very important. So, how well organized the structure is essential to ensure that your report is understood, it's easy to follow, and tells a coherent story. Structure your report in a logical sequence that guides the reader from the introduction to the conclusion. So, for example, a typical report could include like a executive summary. This is like a really a summary of everything that you're going to see, but very high level one. And then it has to have an introduction, define the purpose of the report, and outlines the key issues, methodology, explain how the data, explain how the research of the data was collected, finding and analysis, is present the data or insights. You can even use some graphics or so on, but it's important you break them into clear categories. And then always you have a conclusion and recommendation. Summarize your key findings and propose next steps or actions, what next to be done. So just a clear structure not only helps the reader navigate the content, but also ensures that your key message, what you really want to communicate, is emphasized and easy to get from that report. Okay, if you follow this kind of logic structure, that will be able to improve comprehension and engagement with your audience again. And finally, clarity and consciousness are essential for a report to be effective. So the aim is to communicate your message as clearly as possible, avoiding unnecessary complexity. Use simple, straightforward language, and you can just go direct to the explanation. You don't need to tell the whole history before that. So, because as I said before, with the senior executives, reports are often read by busy people who they don't have the time to go through really long and heavy data content information. So keep your writing concise by eliminating the jargon, words that you use just to fill, or unnecessary details, like I said, about the history. Every section of your report should serve the purpose, and every sentence should contribute to the overall message. Clarity also includes visual like the graphics that I say, because it's easier just to read a whole paragraph just by having a visualization. You can use different kind of charts, table, just to break up the text and highlight the key points. So this will be helping your readers quickly identify the most important information without getting just kind of lost into the text again. So if you are able to, while you are writing a report, you are able to focus on these 5 principles. You can create reports that are not only informative, but also clear, focused, and engaging. At the end of the day, the main goal of any report is to convey important information in a way that is easy for the audience to understand and act up to really get what they need to do or what they need to know. Now, we are going to be exploring how to tell a clear and compelling story through a report, focusing on how we can demonstrate impact, how we can use case studies to demonstrate that impact, and applying the kind of storytelling techniques to engage with the audience and create real impact. So, when telling a story through a report, it's crucial to demonstrate impact. Simply presenting data and findings is not enough. You have to be very engaged your audience, and you need to show how the information affects real goals or come like it's a real situation. Impact demonstrates the value of the work and helps readers understand why it matters. So, for example, if you are reporting on a community program, you just don't put the number of participants or activities completed. You will really make you will emphasize on the improvements that activity has had in the participants, or the quality in life, the increased engagement of the participants, or something that can be measured. And by clearly outlining the impact of the work, you help the reader connect with the report on a deeper level that just if you just only put the numbers, which will not only make the data more meaningful, but also more easier to remember, more memorable and actionable. Okay. Then is when you can use your cases, your case studies. So a case studies is what I say complete, is a really concrete example of how your data findings apply to a specific situation. And when you have a case study, it brings abstract data, like the kind of the numbers. Numbers are easy to understand, but sometimes they say a lot, and sometimes like you really need something else. It's like abstract data comes to life by showing how it translated into real world experiences. So, for example, if you're doing an initiative about the healthcare initiative, you could include a case study of a person who benefited from the program, detailing the background, challenges they have before and during the initiative, the positive changes the program brought to them, or even or if even something needs to be improved. It's kind of the human side of the report, and it's more relatable and allow the audience again understand the personal impact of the initiative. So by incorporating case studies, you have more rich and deep reports that can transform instead of like having just the numbers, like I say, and it creates a more engaging and dynamic history together with the collection of data. Finally, you need to be able to kind of create kind of history without missing the purpose of the report, your audience, but you can create a story. You can use different storytelling techniques that can help to structure your report in a way that resonates with the reader. Reports always can be more factual and data driven, but storytelling techniques can be implemented within the report without again missing the main focus of the report. So you can create a narrative art, like a story will have like a beginning, middle, and end, and you will establish a context and name and body, so you are really reading a history. You will be able to set the scene in the introduction. You will be providing a background to help the reader understand the significance of this report, why the topic is important, what led to the situation, and this gives the reader a clear understanding of the history before really diving into the details. Sorry. And then you have to highlight the challenges. So every story has like is not straightforward. So by including the challenges that you had during your initiative, during the project or the research that you had, you create a sense of you really are explaining every single situation, because the report has to be real. And then when you are able to achieve or manage these challenges, the report and the outcomes of the report are begin to be more like they are more impactful and engaging. And then well, you can use some graphics or some visuals to engage with the history. So just any kind of charts, graph, images are very very powerful tools to use in your reports. And again, it's just great like an history all together with the numbers, the information provided with the data, and the real quick visualization. So altogether makes the history, and again makes the report more engaging and accessible. Now we are just going to and one is the previous slide. You were able to see all the kind of different reports, but it's very important to highlight the real differences between internal reporting and external reporting. So here I will just focus on the internal reporting, and you have to clear to have clear the objective. So usually the objective of an internal report is to provide information that helps decision makers, managers, and employees within the organization monitor progress, evaluate performance, identify issues, and make informed decisions. These reports facilitate internal communications and are used usually for tracking, analysis, and problem solving within the company. The audience, again, can be for managers, department heads, employees within teams or departments, or internal auditors, or even executives and senior leadership. So like examples before, it can be progress report, incident reports that record specific events or issues within the workers, such as accidents or operational failures. Financial reports are very important about the budget, expenditures, forecast, things like that. And it's key that they are those reports are made as well to be transparent about any issues faced and how they are being addressed in the company. So it's a record of what has been helping you to improve. And now just about the external reports. So the main objective of external reports is to communicate the organization's activities, performance, and compliance with external stakeholders. Those reports are often aimed at maintaining transparency, fostering trust, keeping reputation, meeting legal requirements or regulations, like legal regulations. They provide a comprehensive overview of the company's operation regarding finance, health, impact, or any other public perception or investors' confidence could be as well. So again, the audience could be like shareholders and investors, customers and clients, the general public, or non-governmental organizations that are willing to work with you or want to work with you. So examples of those kind of reports are the annual reports. So it's a summary of the company financial performance, achievement, strategic goals, often named the shareholders, investors, and the public. Another one can be the sustainable reports. And those reports are about the organization's environmental, social, and governance practices, targeting investors, compiling regular legal regulations and things like that, and especially a focus for clients, customers that are concerned with the sustainability, so they will be able to decide if they buy a product or they work with you because of those kind of reports. So just in summary, Internal reports aim to inform and guide internal decisions making, with audiences being internal stakeholders, managers, employees, and executives, whereas the external reporting to maintain transparency, demonstrate accountability, and meet regulatory requirements with audiences, including investor, regulator, customers, and the public in general. Okay, and that's all from me. Thank you so much.